I got to think that if I'm Joe Biden, I'm pretty happy about this outcome.
Mm.
Let's play this clip.
I can't imagine anyone voting against the establishment of a commission on the greatest assault since the Civil War on the Capitol. But at any rate, I came for ice cream.
That's right.
I'm sorry. I got really strong now. Watch this drive vibes from that clip.
Yeah, exactly. but I think that, like, Biden's got to be sitting there, right? I mean, Biden's whole agenda, it seems to me, relies on convincing Joe Manchin to vote to kill the filibuster or, whatever, to amend it in some fashion. And I mean, I know that Joe Biden's the president, and it's his responsibility to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I, he may have some leverage with Joe Manchin, but I don't think he has as much as, like, Barack Obama did over Joe Lieberman. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, he's in a 60% Trump state.
Yeah.
And, like, I think, the thing that Biden could do to help Joe Manchin is to broker some deal where they convince AOC to protest Joe Manchin's office. I mean, that's what Joe Manchin wants, right? Like, Joe Manchin wants to be able to say,
we'll send AOC over to, like, make you to make you
on
look
some
like a
other
good
issue.
conservative.
You pick the issue, and
and she'll right, exactly, and then you get to stand up against the left.
Right.
And then, I mean, this is like, if they were savvy about this, that would be the strategy behind this. And I think to some extent, people in the White House and maybe Biden do see this as they needed to get permission to alter the filibuster. And the way to get permission to alter the filibuster is to show how broken the Senate is. And here it is. Here's how broken the Senate is. So that's the savvy way to get about this, like to get yourself permission among moderates and in the political press to change the filibuster. And then you say, well, look how we can't even get a bipartisan commission on the insurrection. Can't even do that. So, like, something has to change. And so now we see, like, okay, like, is that the strategy and is it going to work? Because there's a million, we've talked about this, I think, every time I've been on the show this last year. There's a million different
story.
Yeah.
It's the whole story.
There's a million different things you can do that would allow Joe Manchin to say, well, we kept the filibuster in place, but while actually, like, changing it so that the Senate can pass anything, like right now the filibuster is just too easy. It's too, like, Republicans don't have
35. They had a filibuster. They were able to stop this bill with 35. Never mind 40. They stopped it with 35 people.
Yeah. And, and the implicit filibuster is stopping everything else. Right. Like, and, we know now that, like, you filibuster something by sending an email. And then it's, like, officially filibustered. You don't have to do anything. And, like, that, the least they could do is make it a little harder for their opponents. And I think that, like, it still seems like that's the easiest way forward. And it's a question of whether Manchin is like, feels like he's able to sell that to himself or to his state.
I mean, how much, if I'm Joe Biden and that is my strategy, like, we need something that is completely a slam dunk. A bipartisan commission on a thing where they were calling for the hanging of Donald Trump's, of the Republican vice president.
Yeah.
Right. Like, can we get a bipartisan thing on that? Okay. And then if we don't get it, let's try and make the vote so twisted that 35 people outvoted 54 people.
Yes.
Right. Like, this is like what, if you were going to sit there and say, we need to genetically engineer this, this is what it would look like.
Yeah.
This would be
like, this is the you have now the perfect pretext to blow up the filibuster. Like, this is, you gave yourself a 6-month time frame to see if the Republicans their fever would break. Here we are. It's just about June. And this is the 54 to 35 vote.
I mean, if I'm Biden right now, I go on television. I do a like a primetime press conference.
Yeah.
And I say, I've been in, I use the full force of my old age and say, I've been in this Senate for 50 years. And I never, ever, ever imagined a situation where something like this would be filibustered.
Yes.
35 votes. It is with the heaviest of hearts that I say the Senate is broken.
Mm-hmm.
And it breaks my heart because I'm a Senate man.
Yeah.
And, whatever. And just have like all of this weight just come on Joe Manchin, where it's like he's the one guy who's standing in the way of like, he's the one guy who still thinks the Senate works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That seems to me to be like, that's the full court press. It's just a question of like, how pissy is Joe Manchin? And will he be like, I don't appreciate being pressured this way?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that would be like, if Biden did that, obviously Biden's not going to say, and Joe Manchin, like, you change your mind.
No,
but I do. But if he just went on, exactly. If he went on TV and just repeated 35 votes to, they're like, I think that would be like, and we have become so used to the era of McConnell that like the news doesn't actually make it clear how screwed up these votes are, like they just say Republicans block it.
Yep. I mean, it is, it's crazy.